We're pleased to be joined by John Mullen, Faceoff specialist for the SU men's lacrosse team. The Orange getting set for their national quarterfinal game down in Towson, Maryland against Denver for the right to go to the Final Four. John, thanks for coming on today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing great. We're doing great. So I guess before we get into this season and the game ahead, let's start with you personally. Grew up in Massachusetts, won a couple of state titles in high school. How did you end up here at Syracuse?
So I really didn't think I was going to come to Syracuse because a lot of schools reach out on September 1st, and they didn't reach out to me, but they reached out a little later, and I talked to Petromala, who's not here anymore, and Gary, and they kind of told me everything, and I came right here. My sister has a best friend who comes here, and she told me a lot about it, and I was like, I'm doing this. So I came here, and it's the best decision I've ever made.
So along those lines, I mean, what sold you on Syracuse? You said you had the family connection. What was it from a lacrosse perspective that sold you on the Orange?
Well, I know Syracuse is one of the best. They're the best historically. And I knew that obviously they played in the ACC and it's the best conference. And I wanted to play at where the best I could. So that kind of sold me on coming here.
You know, one of the areas of weakness, I guess, for this program the last few years has been at the Faceoff X. And they go out and they get you and they get Mason Cone, and you've got a couple of guys that are, you know, so reliable that you can count on. You were 18 for 23 in this NCAA tournament game against Towson over the weekend. What allowed you to have, such great success in this last game and really all season long? You've had a great freshman year.
Well, it's all credit to the coaches who believe in me. Getting to play as a freshman is unbelievable. It's like a dream come true. And I also give credit to my wings, Sam Alexo and Jake Stevens, Sammy English, Matt Wright. They're unbelievable, and they help me so much, and they give me confidence on the field, and I love playing with them. So, yeah.
How nice is it, John, to have multiple guys at the X that can take face-offs? In terms of, again, you do this day in and day out, and this is your specialty. How tough is that when you're going up against another team that, maybe switches up the face-off guy, or they give you a different look? I would imagine that can be an advantage for you guys, that you can either go with Mason or yourself, and you both have success.
Yeah, using two guys, I think, is really unique, especially if we play like two different styles. Me and Mason have done a job so far, and I love playing with him, love training with him. He's a super great guy, super mature guy. He understands everything about the position, and he's a great leader on the team. And I think that just using, as I said, two guys that have kind of two different playing styles kind of can throw another face-off guy off who we're going against, especially if it's just one guy. So I think it's an advantage, and it's been working pretty well. So it's been fun.
Now, normally, you're taking the face off, you're going right off the field. You had the opportunity over the weekend to score a goal against Towson, your third of the season. What was that like, that moment, being able to score in an NCAA tournament game as a freshman?
It was definitely electric. I had a lot of adrenaline coming into the game, and when I popped it forward and no one really slid to me until I shot it, I was like, I'm just going to shoot the ball, and then hopefully it goes in, and it did. And I'm just happy we won the game and we can play Denver on Sunday.
Yeah, you guys were down at the half, obviously. What was said at halftime, and what changed, I guess, in that third quarter? It helps to get faceoffs, right? What changed in that third quarter that allowed you guys to go on that 9-goal run?
I think it's just a whole step up for everybody on the team. We all knew that we had to be a little better. Our offense, our defense, me and Mason faceoff guys, goalies, just everything needed to be a little better. And it was more of like a motivating speech, I would say, at halftime, that really got us going. We know what we needed to do. We needed to be disciplined and do the things that we need to do. And we came out firing, and it worked for us.
You look ahead now to Denver, and I know it's still relatively early in the week. You don't play till Sunday, and I would assume that you're just kind of getting to know the game plan and getting to know the opponent a little bit. But to this point, what do you know about Denver, and kind of what stands out to you about this particular opponent?
So I train at a place in Massachusetts at home, and there's a couple of guys that actually train there who I know of. So that's kind of cool. I'll get to kind of see them play. But the Faceoff guy, I watched him all throughout high school. I loved watching him. He's a really big guy. He's second team All-American. He's really good, and I'm super fortunate that I'll be able to go against him and just try my best. And it'll be a huge matchup for me and Mason, and it's going to be a really fun one.
I was reading on your bio on the official website at Cuse.com, and it says your goal is to bring a national championship back to Syracuse. And I know that you're still 3 wins away from that, but have you allowed yourself to kind of think about what that would mean? What would it mean for this program? What would it mean for you and your teammates if you're able to get to the Final Four, get back to Memorial Day weekend like this program has been so many times before? Have you thought about what that'll feel like?
Yeah, definitely. I try to stay with one game at a time, focus on one game, not get ahead of myself, which I feel like is kind of like a good way to look at it. But I mean, just seeing those fields on YouTube at Memorial Day, the cool cut grass field, if we get there, it's going to be like a dream come true, and it's going to be so cool playing there, just seeing the atmosphere, just being there. It's just unreal. So obviously the goal is to win a national championship, and that would be unreal, but we got to beat Denver on Sunday. So, yeah.
And then I guess along those lines, John, really my last question, what will it take to beat Denver on Sunday? Kind of opponent aside, what does Syracuse need to do well to get this thing done on Sunday?
I think that it's a whole team game. Everybody just needs to be ready to go from the get-go, come out firing, and I think we can come out with a win if we come to play, which we should. We've been practicing pretty well the past couple of days, and we'll have a couple more days to prepare. But each day is just try to prepare, try to get better, and really just come out firing against Denver in the first quarter from the first whistle.
All right, it'll be a noon start on Sunday between Syracuse and Denver with a spot in the Final Four on the line. Congratulations, John, on a great season to date. Best of luck Sunday. Best of luck the rest of the way. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All right, John Mullen, face-off specialist for the Orange, joining us here on the show.
Steve, that Memorial Day in the Final Four used to be a huge tradition in Syracuse.
Yeah.
And it hopefully will be again. There is a tradition in Syracuse, unlike any other also, that's happening June 7th and 8th, and that would be the Taste of Syracuse.